up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Sitting Ringside. I am one of your hosts, Robert Villa with Five Book MMA. And as always, I have the OG of Sitting Ringside, Arlo Jumper. And making this all happen, our producer, our VP of Five Book MMA, Rudy Lara.
Yo, yo.
I totally love how, like, when we're waiting for Rudy to give us the cue, how he's up there just getting down.
Hey, that song is bumping, bro.
I love, boy. You just had the biggest shit-eating grin. Just, he was just getting it.
Hey, you know what? Before we start the show, I just want to congratulate you, Rudy and Sam, for your new addition to the family.
Thank you, brother. I love her.
Yeah, man.
Big congratulations.
Hell yeah, dude. Your life has just changed.
Oh, yeah. I'm happier.
That's good, brother. Yeah. That's good. I want to give a shout out to all the fans that's watching, to the Five Book MMA team. Also, a quick shout out to our huge supporters. We have the Ducross brothers. They're always, giving us a shout out, sharing our stuff. It's Sean and Tristan Ducross. So go find them, subscribe to them, like their page. They have also a podcast, so you'll enjoy their show. They're really knowledgeable on their local scene out in California. Also, Domenico from Regional Fight Sports and the girls at the WMMA Jam Live. Them three, man, they support us like crazy. Right on, man. So, how was your day, brother?
Good, man. Busy, but always good, man. Did my kids and women's class today, so I just got out of all that and had time just to come here and change my shirt so I don't come in all fucking sweaty.
How's your classes getting full?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small gym, so like I'm almost too big for my gym now. So I mean, like, yeah, like I'm about to look for another space, man, and try to expand it out and see what we can do with these kids in women's class. And then I said I'm out of fighting, but you know how that is, man. Like it seems like now I got like 3 dudes that want to learn how to just be fighters, how to box, and I was like. And I'm like, they're just amateurs. Okay, that's so far what I've gotten into. So I don't know. We'll see how they go.
Right on.
They haven't got punched in the face yet, so we'll see once they get punched in the face. They may just want to learn how to fight. Not good.
Sweet. Well, we have a good show today. We have a special guest. His name is Andres Quintana. He's a winner of the Copa Combate 2 from Combate Americas. He's a local boy. He's from Albuquerque. So he's just across the street from me.
Nice.
And yeah, man, that's pretty cool. He trains out of Luttrell's. So we'll talk with him and see what's going on with him and let us know when his next fight is, which is going to be, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. And then what else we got going on today? Paulie fighting Artem.
I can't wait to get on that one. Realistically, I cannot wait. I'm going to tear that apart so quick. So quick. I'm going to be like a pit bull on a chihuahua on that one, dude. It's going to be nasty. So get ready. Get ready if you want to hear the biggest, horriblest breakdown for that fight.
Yeah, and then we have Manny Pacquiao fighting, what's his name? Lee?
Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman. Yeah.
I'm ready to get on that one too. That's going to be a decent one. That'll be a fun one to pick.
And then we're going to talk about Wilder KOing, I don't know. It kind of looked like he killed him, but
I think he did. I think he took like 3 to 5 years off his lifespan. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm pretty sure. I mean that.
Talk about Wilder.
That's not healthy. That dude died in the ring and then came back.
Like he killed him, but Yup.
But that dude was doing a lot of shit talking though, man. He kind of deserved that one.
Yeah, he did. And then what else we got going on tonight? We have
We got
Anthony Joshua
Wilder.
fighting Andy Ruiz.
Yep.
And then
I tried to
Wilder
get Ruiz
fighting.
on the show.
Oh, really?
I've been messaging him through Instagram. I send him messages like every day on Instagram, see if he come in. He has never looked at or responded yet, but I was like, fuck, I don't care. Let's just see what he'll say.
Man, that would be bad.
Yeah.
I'll try to message him, man. I'll see what I can do too.
Dude, I do that to everybody. I go to IG and follow everybody that we want on the show. Fuck, I don't care. I'll try. I mean, I kind of got into it with Ryback the other day, the WWE wrestler. The big old dude. I said, hey, dude, I got a podcast. I'd love to see you. He was on a live feed. And he's like, well, I know what you're doing. I mean, and it's okay to shoot for the top. I'm like, who's the top? You? I was like, dude, I'm shooting mid-card. What are you talking about? So we sit there and kind of popped off on IG, dude. It was kind of cool. I mean, he wasn't a dick really about it, but I was like, okay, look, I asked because we're fairly, big. I mean, we're not like the original sitting ringside, when I first started and we were doing it off of Blog Talk, yeah, for too much and it wouldn't hold up and
MySpace.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But yeah, so me and him sit there and talked for a second through his live feed. He's like, I'm not interested in talking about me. I was like, shut up. If this would have been like, Good Morning America, you'd have been in there in a second. I'm like, ain't nobody trying to talk to you. You better come talk when people trying to get you. But it is what it is, man. He was respectful, but not completely the coolest. Yeah, I try to get cool people. Like I shoot Chris Jericho messages all the time. I don't care, dude. I don't care.
Dude, could you imagine if we had a Chris Jericho on the show?
Oh, dude, that'd be the coolest thing ever. Remember when I had Louis Collazo on the other show?
Uh-huh.
That's how I got Collazo, was just sent him a message on Twitter.
Huh.
I just messaged him and he sent me a message back, said thanks, and then he knocked out Victor Ortiz, and I jumped on there telling him, I told everybody you were going to knock out Ortiz, and we started shooting the shit about boxing. I said, hey, man, I got a podcast. He goes, tell me when you want me on there.
Nice.
I was like, done. So that's how I did it. Some people are dicks about it, but I don't care. I don't care. It's good shit.
Oh, yeah, man.
Still there? Okay.
Yeah. They just want the to be on like ESPN or Fox or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Ain't nobody knocking on your door like that. Let's get you back out there, and then those places will start calling. You know what I mean? Because I think we give great interviews.
Yeah,
I think I do better than Dan Raphael, who takes up 20 minutes whenever we do those press conference calls. I'm always cussing. One of these days, my speaker's not going to be muted because we're supposed to mute everything, and I'm on the other end just cussing out Dan Raphael every time we're on there. I'm like Bobby Boucher on the water, but I'm like, hurry up, Dan. Like, I'm just going crazy on this end, dude. I'm like, no one gives a fuck what you're talking about, Dan. You're like asking the same questions you've asked for the same 50 years. Let somebody new have the glory. Take your old ass and retire.
Oh shit.
I've been thinking too, Berto, if I can get the funding, if I can figure out the funding, we ought to see if we can get into that Malignaggi fight.
That'd be pretty cool, man. If we can get in
down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Down in Tampa, I mean, shit. Whole trip probably cost you $1,500. Go in, fly in on a Friday, leave on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sounds very interesting.
Yeah. See if we can get some sponsors that pay for it. Fuck, I'd go down there and go live and thank everybody on it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
We gotta talk more about this after the show.
Oh, look at that light bulb. Dude, I'll go down there looking like the old UFC fighters with all those logos all over the t-shirt. Be from Tahlequah, Danny's Muffler over here. Oh, shit.
And then I'll have some Mexican restaurant over here on the back of my shirt.
Yeah.
Panchos.
El Calinas. Fine Mexican dining just across the shoulders. They're like, what the fuck kind of shirt is that? Just looking like it'll be one of those Fight Book MMA shirts with the logo in the middle with all of our sponsors all over it. Oh shit.
No, that's not gonna happen.
I would do it. If it got us in, I wouldn't care, Bert. I'd walk in looking like I was a fighter that night. Not knowing I'm just media. Be like, hey, you media. Well, we kind of broke right now, so this is all our sponsors. We got to walk around promoting. Oh shit,
that's funny. Oh, speaking of media, you covered an event this past weekend, right?
I did.
How was that, man?
It was really good, man. They put on a great show, a lot of entertaining fights. Really
it was
good
for a charity event, right?
Say what?
It was a charity event.
Yeah, it was for the cops and firemen. It was kind of like just some event that I guess they donate proceeds to whatever charity those guys want to go to.
Okay.
But it wasn't your typical. It wasn't your typical cops and firemen's charity.
Okay.
Is why I liked it, because they took the real fighters and threw them in there. You know what I mean? No offense to any police officer or fireman out there in the world, but I'm not a fan of it when they make those two fight. You know what I mean? Like, those guys got a job outside of there. They don't need to be taking a chance of getting hurt inside of there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're taking damage to the head. I don't like that with them guys having to go back out in that field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you may go in there and have to get into it with someone else. You're still feeling effects from Saturday night. You know?
Oh, easy.
So that's one reason why I liked how these guys did it. They put on a great show. It was a sold out event, but it didn't show it in there because we got the floods going on here in Oklahoma and Arkansas. So it was, and I had to leave the show early because the guys told me they had a county sheriff's department working security, and those guys told me that if I didn't leave now, I probably wasn't going to get to leave Arkansas. So I was like, yeah, we gotta get the fuck out of here. But it was entertaining fights all night, dude. All night.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, even the unanimous decision ones did not speak for itself. I mean, they were 1 point unanimous decisions, but I mean, just tough fights, tough fighters. They put on a great show. Looking forward to working with them again. I'll see when their next show's coming up and work with them. I think this coming month we're gonna have an XFN fight coming up in Tulsa. That I'll
right on.
Yeah, I'll talk to them this month. Talk to them. See what I can do. Maybe get one of their guys on here.
Right on.
You know.
Hey Rudy, how much longer for Mr. Andres?
Well, before we bring him on, I'm gonna go and show everybody a nice little highlight from one of his fights.
Sick.
That dude to sleep, bro. He's gonna literally put this guy to sleep, and his eyes roll in the back of his head. Props to Ray Trujillo for taking it like a man, bro. The ref had to break that shit up. But yeah, dude, he should be on any second now.
Okay.
Yeah, the dude's tough as nails. I'll give him that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting on him. But
okay.
That was a pretty cool 1 minute clip that I found. I need to compile a highlight reel for this dude.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, man, that'd be dope.
He's got some cool shit, man.
Speaking of the event that you covered, I covered something similar to that, but they were actual cops and firemen fighting each other. It was a boxing match. But you can tell, man, these guys were amateurs. I mean, they were just throwing just haymakers.
Yeah.
One guy, he actually like bum rushed the other dude and started like wailing on his stomach and just like
Look
you
like
could just tell that there's
when you got in a
no
fight in 7th grade.
yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, I don't disagree with the charity part. I love the
Right.
charity part. I'm huge on charities. I don't like things like that will tend to give people a big false impersonation of what it is. You know, because I've seen a couple of people from those events think they had what it took to go to a next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a buddy of mine blow his shoulder out in an event after, and he missed like 6 months of work.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, and it's because he won the charity event and then went on thinking and I'm like, and I try to tell him, it's a different world in there. I said, you're going in there when it's the charity event against a guy who's no offense, like I said, but who's a fireman, who's just a fireman or just a
Mm-hmm.
police officer. They're not going in there with the intentions to kill you. It's, hey, it's for charity. Let's put on a show. We'll get a good. It's more of a glorified sparring session.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I liked what we did. What those guys did Saturday was they took it all for the charity, but they put real fighters in there. Someone that knows I'm coming in here to possibly die or kill someone. They have that warrior mentality. Now,
Mm-hmm.
those guys, I'm not saying don't have the warrior mentality, but they have their warrior mentality when he's fighting a fire, when he's chasing a bad guy. When they threw him in that cage, they weren't going to kill each other. They hit each other hard. They did some damage to each other, but it wasn't where it blew his. He wasn't going to go for blowing the dude's shoulder out. And so I mean that's why I don't always agree with that kind of charity event when they make the cops and the firemen fight each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should get like one cop, one fireman, and have them like walk out with the fighter,
Mm-hmm.
and have those guys represent which side they want to represent. You know what I mean? And then the winner, the winner out of the whole night, out of the blue versus red, it gives the more of the proceeds go to more of the which side won more. That's how I think it should be done. But I don't know who are we, Roberto?
I know, right? What do we
Yeah,
know?
yeah. I've just never liked that though. I don't because you used to fight and
Mm-hmm.
training fucks you up.
Oh yeah, man. And
Just training.
all that hard work that you put in, and
All the abuse the
the
body
the
takes.
beating and the abuse that you're getting, and even when you're not training to fight, you're still
Mhm.
got to train because you just never know.
No, exactly. You never know when you
And
get
it's
that phone
still,
call.
yeah, you're either training at 50, 60%, and then when it comes down to like, fight camp, you're 80, 85, 90%,
Yep.
you know.
And people don't get what that means until you're in
And
it.
then on top of that, you still got to be eating right,
Yep.
cutting weight.
Yep.
It's just a
Or
toll on your
maintaining,
body,
right? Yeah,
or maintaining.
it's rough, man. And that's what I don't like about that charity when they throw people who's never done it in there, and like the one out in Tulsa, like they go all out for them, and it's cool. I do it is cool. Like they get belts, like they get these really big, like glorious belts that are, I mean, they're really nice. Like they look like a UFC title. Like
Wow.
their quality is up to that quality. And so that's another thing. These dudes win and they automatically get that. So these guys are like, oh, no, let's not jump the gun yet. I'm like, that's not a real championship belt, buddy. That's just this belt that you got for one match. But yeah, because I've had like I would train guys. I've worked with guys that went into those and fought because I feel at least if I work with them, I know who worked with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, I know they're going to be taken care of if I go in, if I worked with them, I'm trying to build me a team for next year. I was talking to a couple of my buddies that are cops, and I was like, "Dude, you ever think about it?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "So I'm trying to build me a little bit of a clientele, and I'm gonna try to take me a whole team in there next year of cops."
Hey, our guest is having. Oh, there he is.
There we go. I got you guys. Sorry.
Right on. Well, right now we have Mr. Andres Quintana. He's a Combate Americas fighter. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Finally, nice to finally meet you, even though it's on this type. But you know, it's funny because we both live in Albuquerque, man.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's neat.
Yeah, I live up on in Rio Rancho.
Okay, I live pretty close to Rio Rancho. I live like Unser and McMahon.
So dude, we're like 5 minutes from each other.
I know, right?
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, are you? Looks like you were training right now, or?
Yeah, I just finished and just had a chance to sit down to call and have a chat with you guys.
Right on, man. So, tell everybody who you are, man.
So I'm Andres Quintana. I've been fighting for Combate Americas for about 2.5, 3 years. I started boxing when I was about 12 years old. I had my first fight at 12. And then my first MMA competition was 16 years old. And then I've been fighting MMA ever since.
You know, wow. that was going to be my first question, was if you started boxing first. When I started watching all your fights over the last couple of days on YouTube, and Berto said we were having you, I was like, this kid's got really crisp hands. And I was like, I bet you. I was like, because I can always tell I'm a boxer. Yeah. And I train boxers, and or I train MMA guys for their hands, or kickboxers with just their hands. So every time I watch, like, that's the first thing I look at, you know, when I'm fighting. Yeah. Like you keep your elbows tight, you keep your arms tight, and you got that classic Mexican style where you just walk at them. Like, you're always stalking your guys. I watch that every time like a shark, man. You're just preying on them. I dig it, man.
Go backwards, you know. I don't like to take.
No, never. You can't go back. Can't win going backwards. and you know, it's it's totally awesome when I watch you. Like I watched I watched everything about you. I dug deep in all the videos I looked at. Like, and I've watched how much you grew since that Tough 22.
Yeah.
Like, you were
I was still really young, but I felt like whenever I fought in the Ultimate Fighter, I just didn't trust my entire MMA game. You know,
you could see it.
Yeah, I was trying to stand up and bang with him, but you know, he was really good stand up guy, and you know, I should have tested his ground more, but it's all right. You know, you live and you
Absolutely. And like I said, you can just see how much more. How, like, you're 10 times the fighter you were on that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you can just see the night and day difference. Like, you could see the gun shyness and the things you were wanting to try and you didn't try. Like, you would see you, like you know, and you know what I mean? You could see the hesitation. You could see you thinking about it. And I was like, and then like at first when I watched this, I was like, okay, this kid's kind of gun shy. And then I went like 2 videos like 2 years later, and I was like, damn, is that the same dude doing this? Like, you just have this whole swag to you now, you know, hands are dropping, heads moving. I was like, okay, that's the kid that should have went to Tough. Exactly. I was like, that's the kid that should have went to Tough. And you know what's crazy is you did all that going into Tough with that gun shyness. You know, I'm telling you right now, dog, they ain't ready for what you're bringing. You know what I mean? I mean, you got big things coming, man. As much as you've grown just in a matter of a few years, you know, 4-year time frame. You know, props to that, man. Props to that, and keep growing. Like, and you can see you look trainable just by talking to you.
Yeah. You know, I'm not the one that sees all my flaws. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to be perfect, but all my coaches see what I'm doing wrong. So
exactly,
I'm always listening to them.
And you train out at go ahead, Arlo.
Go ahead, Berto. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you train out of Latrell's, right?
Yes, I train out of Latrell's.
Yeah, that's a good gym to learn some good boxing, man.
My boxing coach is actually Sergio Chavez. So
he's an
amazing boxer. He's trained Danny Romero for most of his career. He's trained with Johnny Tape. He's a legend, you know, in his own right.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
So,
talk to us about your last, not your last fight, but your win out in Combate you won that grand prize, man. How was that feeling? How was your, how was it when you were going into the cage to fight for that, that prize? I mean, walk us through all that, man.
So I actually fought 3 times in one night. It was a one-night tournament, so that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
I went into the tournament even injured. I was having a hard time, a lot of problems with my right hand. Now I'm all good. I'm all healed up. But I trained all of 2018 without any breaks, so my body's kind of breaking down. And
That prize.
I knew it was gonna be very, very difficult because everyone's tough at that top I actually fought 3 times. So I just went in there and I felt like I was a lot more mentally tough than every single one of them. No matter what they threw at me, I was gonna come back and prove them wrong. Some people thought a lot of people thought I was a favorite and Alejandro was a favorite. So we actually ended up meeting in the finals. And I walked into that fight really beat up. My left leg was injured, my right hand, my right ankle. I was super, super beat up, but I knew I could finish the fight. I knew I just had more grit than him, I guess you can say. And then just winning after I hit that spinning elbow and I threw a few hammer fists and finished some ground and pound. It just kind of felt like relief, like a lifetime's worth of accomplishments kind of was like acquired that night. I was like, man, this is what it's all about. I got a good chunk of money. I can take care of my friends and my families and do what I need to do and not be worrying about, oh, I need to fight here, I need to fight then, I need to fight by this date. So it was just really like a big pressure off of my chest.
Heck yeah, man, because winning that prize, I mean, I'm sure that saying that you were hurt and all that gave you enough time to be able to heal and rest and do all that and get ready for your next one. So your next one's here in Albuquerque, huh? Or in Rio Rancho?
Yeah, it's in Santa Ana Star Center. So
Santa Ana.
But yeah, really, really close. I took a couple months off. I had a lot of injuries and they're all healed up now. And we hit camp hard. I had about a 10-week camp, but it's I'm still in camp as of now. And I'm just super excited. I'm having a rematch with a guy I beat in the second round of the tournament. He clipped me, but I mean it happens. I was going into the tournament blind. I didn't know what each person was bringing, and I'm sure every single one of those guys studied me because I had the biggest record. I was the favorite, and I'm sure everyone had their eye on me and studied me multiple times. So I was at a disadvantage in the tournament alone. So I'm super excited to have that rematch and prove that it was more of like a fluke, I guess you can say. Because I went in there blind. He was coming out of Team Alpha Male, so I thought he was going to wrestle. I didn't think he was going to stand up and bang with me. I thought he was going to shoot the first chance he got. But I mean, and I trusted my MMA, and we got back up to the feet, and I was like, all right, he wants to bang, so we'll bang.
Right on, man. So how do you feel that you're going to be fighting? You're fighting for the title, right?
I am. I feel like I am the champion. I feel like it's well deserved on my end. I'm 8-0 with the company, and I don't think anyone in their entire history has ever done that.
That's true. That is true. Do you feel like you're going to have any added pressure that you're going to be fighting here in your hometown and having all your fans and family there?
I don't think so. I fought here before. I fought in Roswell. I'm originally from Roswell, New Mexico, and I fought there before. And I love the energy of the crowd. I love walking out to everyone screaming my name and it just being rowdy and just getting everything to blow up. So I'm more excited than nervous about fighting at home.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
How's the training going for you? How's training camp going for you?
Training's going really, really, really good. Probably one of my best camps yet. I've learned a lot through my entire amateur and pro career, man. I have like almost 70 fights total, I had like 30 amateur boxing, 30 plus, and I had 15 amateur MMA, and now I'm professional with 20. And so, I've learned how to fine tune my camp, and my coaches have known me for years now, so they know when I'm being overtrained and when I need to rest and if I need to pick it up in training or not, and I feel like I train so much that they got to pull me back more than anything.
And that's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for, because the dog don't quit. You know what I mean? You got to put that dog back on the chain. Now, how are the injuries holding up? Were they serious injuries or just nagging injuries?
Not real serious, but they were nagging. Like my right hand
Yep.
was really jacked. Whenever I fought, so I had a fight to get into the tournament first of all, and I don't know why, but I fought as a qualifier to get into the tournament. I could not even throw my right hand. My wrist was like torn up. Like I didn't even throw one right hand punch in the qualifier. I submitted the guy pretty fast, like a minute and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even throw my right hand, and then I had jumped right back into camp right away, and so like
Oh.
he never got a chance to heal.
None.
But now we're all good. Now we can throw this right hand.
Yeah, I bet you were happy. I bet you were happy you got more well-rounded after that, wasn't it? I bet you were more happy you were well-rounded at that point. Like, oh God, glad I can grapple now.
Yeah. We studied a lot of his stuff, and he's just he was like a little wild striker, so we were like, oh, we need to, we'll take it down. And he's the one that was worried of my strike, so he kind of shot on me, and I just counter wrestled him and took him down pretty easy, So
Nice.
It was good. It was a good, easy fight for me.
Good. So, and I always tell people, I said, it's the hurt business. You're never going to be 100. Anybody walking in there.
Completely agree.
Yeah, it comes with the territory. An ankle's going to ache, a knee's going to ache, a hip, hand, elbow, something. Like my first one, when I first took a fight, I was always nervous. I was like, man, I have bad hands, and like my hand would always hurt. And then I was like, my coach was like, he's fucked up somewhere too. I was like, I never thought of it that way.
It's true though. It is true.
It is though. I mean, but that's that dog in you that goes through it, And I tell people there's things you can teach and there's things you can't teach.
Exactly.
And for a guy to go in there and fight 3 times with a leg that's hurting and a wrist that can't barely be thrown, about halfway through that first round, you forget about it.
It don't even affect you in the fight. So.
No, not until it's over. So exactly. when did your fight?
June 28th.
Okay, so that's coming up quick. Berto, are you gonna try to cover that?
Oh, I'm already there. I'm already gonna be cage-side.
That's what's up. I want to see some live. I want to see some live feeds, Berto, if you can.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try because I don't know if McLaren's gonna like that or not.
Okay. You need to find me a link. To see this. I got
it's on the zone, I believe.
Yeah,
it's on the zone.
Okay, cool. Definitely, I'm gonna have to check it out then.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I know all the fights and the promotions that you've fought. How do you feel fighting in a Mexican promotion?
I feel good. Sometimes I feel like I'm not accepted because I'm from America. I feel like they hate on me a little bit. But someone's got to be the bad guy, and I'll gladly wear those shoes. It don't matter to me as long as you come see me.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see me win or lose, it don't matter.
And I'm gonna say this for a domesticated guy. You don't fight like you got that Mexican forward attitude. You don't, and you all know this from I'm Native American. So I just look. I'm just colored brown. I'm not Mexican. So you know what I mean when I say how the Mexican guys come straight at you and never stop and just keep grinding and chipping away and little by little until the whole thing cracks. And that's what you do. And you don't really find that with a lot of guys that are from the States that are Mexican. You find more still. No offense to him, great boxer, but you find more like Oscar De La Hoya fighters.
Yeah.
That. Great boxer, not taking nothing from him. But he didn't have that, I'm going to come pressure you. I'm going to keep, he didn't have that pressure breaks pipes. And you still have that, and even though you come forward, and I tell people it's different coming forward in MMA because you might get that leg kick and you check a lot of leg kicks.
Yeah.
And that's what else they don't get. You know what I mean? Like you got a very, very well-rounded defense coming forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the name of the game. I want to hit and not get hit.
Yep.
So I feel like I take a lot of pride in my defense,
Yeah, and that's what impressed me a lot was the checking of a kick while coming forward.
Mm-hmm.
People don't get how hard that is, but I'll tell you another thing I noticed. I'm assuming you hit pretty hard.
I don't know. I don't know because I'm not a power puncher. I've never just laid someone out with one punch. I feel like my punches are more accumulative.
The reason I'll say I feel you hit pretty hard is because those guys back up pretty far.
Yeah,
and you can tell
true.
by the distance. You can tell by a distance how much they like it or they don't.
I agree.
Because
Yeah.
like I noticed some of your shots from them guys, they're way out there, and your defense is also your offense. Because you're pushing them so far back, and then they try to jump in, and whether it's shooting, whether it's kicking, whether it's punching, you see it the further they get back. You know what I mean? Because if they stay in that pocket, they don't like it. They don't like the accumulation of all the punches you throw and the punishment you're dishing out. So that's what I noticed with you, man. I do a lot of film study because I train people, and I'm like, I like this kid. I like this kid. He does some good shit in there, you know. So
and touching back on like that Mexican style, I feel like the newer kids coming up, they're more of like they want to do like karate point fighting. You know, they do a lot of like touch and kick and run, and I don't like that. That's not
that's not fighting.
I'm more of an old school Mexican fighter, you know. And I feel like I just like kind of keep it at the roots, and you know, if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight.
Yep. Too many people, and no offense to the guy, but too many people watch that Conor McGregor shit, where they do that karate stance and move away, bam, and hit you, and just wait for you to run into him. Yeah, Sage too. And they wait for you to come in, try to get you from way out there, and hope to God one shot ends it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I tell people it's a fight. You got to get in there. There's only one way to win it. Don't win it backing up. You don't win it backing up.
And I don't really like decisions. Lately, I've had a few decisions, but like it's because they run from me a lot. And like, come on, man, you know. And I don't really like. To me, that's not truly winning a fight. It's like if I stop someone I want,
Yeah, exactly. And you know, that's the only thing I've hated about cages is they can run.
Yeah.
You know, you put them in that squared ring, you can cut the corners real quick, and you can pin them in a corner. Yeah, you can't pin them really in the octagon or the circle ones. You know, any of them, they can just move too freely in there. You know,
and like fight in the circle.
Yep. Yeah, that's where I see it. Yeah, the circle. Yeah, and they can just move too much in there, you know. And guys that don't like to take the punishment or don't want to take the punishment, they can really take off and get on their horse and just run all over the place and lose a decision, you know. So and like like another thing I didn't like is the only thing I've never liked about the cage side is how big they get them. Like guys like you would probably always want to fight in a small ring. You know, you're a phone booth fighter. You move your head a lot, keep your hands up, and throw at the same time. So I get it. But like I said, that's the other thing. You know, you can't cut them off. You can't make them fight in there. You can't force them.
And I feel like the Combate cage is a fair size. I like that size of the cage.
Yeah, it works. I agree. Yeah. No, that is.
But it's not too big.
Mm-hmm. Like exactly.
The cage is like 34 feet. I mean, it's huge. 34 feet. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah. That's like dang near half a basketball court. You know what I mean? You're sitting in. You know, I mean, yeah. So no, I agree. I thought that one looked smaller too, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I noticed what you said though. I did notice where you said your guys do back up a lot on you, dude. And like I said, it's just that come forward. A lot of people get scared when you come forward.
Yep.
Even if they're pro fighters, you know, they still like, damn, this dude just does not quit coming, you know, and that messes with their head. Whether they show it in their face, they'll show it somewhere, and they're showing it by backing up. Yeah, their face may not say it, but their body language,
We know.
Yeah, exactly.
The educated fans know.
Exactly. And that's why we brought this show. It's funny you say that. That's why me and Berto brought this show. We got tired of seeing a bunch of podcasts that couldn't talk about fighting to real fighters. You know what I mean? So we're like, man, let's get in there. Let's chop it up with some real dudes. See what happens. Yeah, let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. I mean, we're real dudes. We want to chop it up with some real dudes, you know, and tell them what they like. And you know, one of these days, me and Berto's got to come down there and train with y'all. One of these days.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome anytime.
Right on, man. Yeah, and don't say that you don't hit hard, because you do. I'm sure you do, because if those guys are backing up, you know you're hurting them, bro.
Something's rattling. If you hit.
Plus, look, you're a Mexican. We have heavy hands.
Y'all do.
So, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the reason I'll say I thought you had heavy hands is because everybody starts out like this and runs right up to you. And it's like 10 seconds in, they're already scooting across. They're done.
Yeah.
They run in, they get in that first 10, 20 second exchange, and it's done. They just start running. And that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, I bet this cat hits harder than what you think in there. You know what I mean?
And
Like when
it's
I was
funny
watching it.
because in earlier in my career, no one really knew about me. They didn't know like I had a boxing background or anything.
Mm-hmm.
My first 10 fights, I have 10 knockouts, and then
Yep.
they just kind of started getting savvy to it, and you're like, all right, we're gonna kind of stay away from these hands, and we'll move around a little bit more and try and take them down.
Uh-huh.
And so I kind of had to evolve my game and learn how to do a lot of takedowns.
Oh,
again.
absolutely.
So, like, I'm really good there, especially on the fence now.
Oh, and ain't no one wanting to stand with you now. Ain't nobody wanting. But see, you kind of got that like Chavez Senior, Tommy Hearns built, like that long lean look, and guys are gonna say, "Oh, I bet this cat doesn't hit hard." And then you got that long whip at the end of that punch, when you snap it, and if you master that with them long arms, it don't matter. It don't matter. They're lights out. You put them at the end of that. You put them at the end of that whip every time, man. Every time, and you see that. I can see you see it. That's why your arms are down. That's how you know you hit hard. When you walk at a dude, you start doing this with your arms down. I say, man, this dude knows. This dude knows.
And I feel like the longer, lengthier fighters are a lot more dangerous than short, buffered fighters, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And like I hated fighting those tall guys with the long arms because of that whip action. Now I tell people, if you're gonna fight a guy like you gotta people don't train to fight the guy that they're fighting 90% of the time. They train just to go in there and fight. You know what I mean? Like they want to fight how they want to fight. You got to fight how you got to fight him. Not just how you're going to go in there and fight, but you got to fight how you're going to fight him. Like to fight you, you got to stay out of that reach, but you can't come straight in. That's what they don't get. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, you're never too tall, you're never too short to fight anybody. It's how you fight them.
Look at Mike Tyson,
Yeah, and that's what they don't get. Like if you ever watch, and you're a boxer, we're gonna go boxing here. You watch Mike Tyson, he was here. He was here in your face, but he never just came straight in. He would
side to side,
zigzag his way in. And the other thing Mike would do is Mike would put that hand up, cover your eyes, pull it back, and he's somewhere else. He didn't care if he landed his jab or not. He would do this and strobe light you, and he's somewhere else. And the thing about those big, tall heavyweights is, unlike you, because you got quick feet too. I've seen you moving there.
Yes.
So that's a plus on you. So you're a little different. You're athletic. You're tall. You're lengthy. So them guys are always, those short guys are in for their money, and the thing is those guys got quick hands but not quick feet. That's what I notice about them. And that's the only way you can work on big guys. You got to have quick feet. You can have quick head movement all day. You can have quick hands all day. But if I can't get from here and inside that extra 4-inch reach he's got, well, hell, that's going to matter.
I'm going outside all day.
Exactly. And then the thing is when you hit them, they done backed up an extra 2 feet because they didn't like the pressure. So now they put in another 2 feet. They got to close another 2 feet distance plus that 4 inches on top of. And a lot of that is they don't know their range. They don't know their range, and you know yours. That's what I like. And I always tell people, you could tell complete fighters when you watch them, because if you get comfortable putting your hands down and looking, there's a difference between being cocky and telling the guy, "Come get some." You put your hands down, you're saying, "Come get some." You're not doing this looking away, flashing, flamboyant, shaking your shoulders. You put your hands down, you start moving. Your head's still looking, but you're looking dead on at that dude. And that's why I said you can see what you're doing. You can see.
I'm still focused on the fight.
Yeah, exactly. You're not focused on the crowd. You're focused on that dude still in front of you. Absolutely. And like I said, you can tell your reach because you do that. A lot of them guys you're going in there with, they don't. Like they're just a hair off, and that's why they back up 4 extra feet. And then they don't realize that if you're taking 2 steps forward, they're still got to close 2 other feet. They don't realize the math of any of the movements in there. And then they don't realize their own punches, because a lot of times they'll take 2 steps in and barely throw a jab out at you. And you're tagging them with like 2 or 3 shots. And I'm like, oh my God, these dudes, and that comes in the sparring. Like, obviously they're not bringing in tall sparring partners.
Yeah.
And you know what to look for. That's the other thing. Like you see everything I'm telling them. You see everything that I'm breaking down with these guys, because that's why you put your hands down. You know the end of your punch. They don't know the end of theirs.
I know where I can get hit and where I can't.
Exactly, and that comes in with a lot of that boxing.
Yeah,
that's where the hands game comes in big time. That's what people don't get.
Honestly.
Yeah, I always told all my fighters that fighting starts standing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've always thought myself.
Fight starts standing, man. The fight starts standing. But yeah, man, that is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing this fight, though, man.
Yeah, should be fun. Well, for me at least.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So, when you win this title, is there somebody that you want to, fight or call out, or you just wanting to wait for to give you somebody, or honestly, what's your plan after this fight, man?
There's literally no one for me to fight. I've cleaned out the division. I've fought people from 55. They've came down and they've missed weight, and I've still fought them. There's literally no one for me to fight. So maybe if they bring in a 55-pound champ and they win the belt, maybe I'll challenge for that eventually. But as of now, it's whoever Combate thinks is worthy. Whoever wants to, test their luck with me and get in there and get a decent paycheck for getting whooped.
Hell yeah.
Right on, man. So, are you planning like the next year or so continue fighting for Combate, or do you want to play at
You're breaking up bad.
Bellator,
you're breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, you're breaking up on us, Berto. That's all right.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, man. So I was saying, so are you planning to stay with Combate, or are you planning to go to another promotion, or what's your plan in the next 2 to 3 years?
My plan is to go where the money is, If UFC wants to buy me out of my contract, if they want to pay me more than Combate, I'm going to go where the money is. I'm a prize fighter at the end of the day, and I'm making a living doing this, and I want to retire off of this, and I don't want to have to worry about working whenever I'm done fighting. I've dedicated my entire life since I was a 12-year-old kid to fighting, and I want to be able to retire for all this hard work.
Right on, man. Sorry, my phone did something weird.
Okay.
Yeah, mine did too. I was like, what the crap? I just didn't want to say anything. This is why we do live shows. So when shit messes up, you see all this. We're going to show you. I told Berto, I said, our show is we give it to you like how we eat our sushi. Raw. Raw and uncut, man. It's just here. Oh, if you spill your drink while you're drinking, everybody's gonna say it. But yeah, no, and I totally agree with what you said about whoever, man. Because at the end of the day, you got to take care of yourself and your people. So I totally agree with that. Whoever's the bigger, whoever's wanting to pay you more, because at the end of the day, that's they got to take care of you. You can't just fill their pockets by putting in entertaining fights. Because you're an entertaining fighter, so yeah, you got to take care of that, man.
And you're ranked number 2 right now, right? In Cali here in the West?
I'm supposed to be ranked number 1. The guy
I was going to say, yeah.
The guy that's ranked above me is the one I knocked out with a spinning elbow in the I don't know.
Well, I'm pretty sure winning this title, they're going to catapult you to number 1, man.
How are you going to knock the dude out that's number 1 and he's still – that's dumb. I hate rankings. I hate people who do the rankings. It just
everyone knows who the true champ is. Everyone
sees ain't no shit.
It don't matter.
That ain't
he knows
no
it in his heart too. He can put his
he knows. He wants. It's not just in his heart; it's in his jaw.
From December.
He doesn't just know it in his heart; he knows it in his jaw too. His jaw still feels out. He can't even smile when he looks at those rankings. He just does this. Who do the rankings?
Yeah. You can't be proud of that. There's no way you can be proud of that. If I was number 1, I wouldn't even brag about it. And that happened to me, No way.
Hell no. Hell no. But outside of boxing and outside of training, outside of all MMA and all that, what do you do outside of all that? Like as far as a hobby or
I like fast cars. I like racing cars. I have an ATV. I go four wheeling. I game it sometimes. Like if I'm too tired, like during camp, I'll just go home and throw on something on the computer. I game it with my friends on the PC. I have a
Nice.
PS4 also, but just simple stuff. Just I like movies. You know, just normal stuff. I'm more of an adrenaline junkie, so I like to do a little bit more like exciting things. I like snowboarding, hiking, stuff like that.
So,
Heck
so you're
yeah.
kind, so you're kind of like another Cerrone then here in New Mexico.
Yeah, a little bit. I know Cerrone. I actually train at the Performance Ranch, and
Yeah.
that's his strength and conditioning area, and I go there
Hmm.
about 3 times a week. So yeah, Cerrone's super
Oh,
cool.
right on.
He's fighting, June 8th, and I'm super excited
Hmm.
for that. Yeah, hopefully he wins and gets a title shot. He deserves it.
Yes, sir.
I agree. Now coming from a fighter's perspective, any era, I ask every fighter this. Any era, no matter if it's past, present, whatever. Who is your one dream fight if you could have fought somebody?
To fight in MMA, probably Aldo. I grew up, watching him dominate the featherweight division, and I always thought in my mind, hey, one day I'll probably fight him. He might be older and I'll be coming up, but I may fight him one day.
And
That'd be a very cool fight for me. He hasn't.
and that'd be a fight for the books because you all are two come forward fighters. Like it would end like in probably 30 seconds.
Right.
Because nobody's backing up. It would just stop right here.
We meet in the middle.
Yeah, it'd be like that Rocky and Apollo where y'all throwing at that right hook at the same time. Yeah, that'd be a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And what about in boxing?
Boxing, obviously, I would love to fight Floyd just to get paid.
I'll tell you what. If we can make Floyd Mayweather happen, I'll be your boxing coach. I want some of that change.
1%, that's all I want.
1%. Donate that to the show.
I think everybody wants that Floyd buddy after Connor.
Right?
Exactly.
That was an awesome comment, dude.
Connor's taking it easy. You don't got to do shit no more.
No. No, you can tell he lost that spark to fight. He's like, man, I'm $100 million fighter. I can't come back and fight for $4 million now.
Right.
Oh god, that's the best answer I heard. I like that one.
Yeah,
now,
that was awesome.
Being a fighter, do you ever think about ever down the road ever taking a boxing match again?
I've talked about it with my boxing coach, but the pay's just not gonna compare right now.
No, starting out in boxing sucks. Yeah.
$700-800 maybe.
Yeah.
There's no way I would risk getting cut, taking any sort of damage, just to be able to fight MMA for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm all about money right now.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like you made the right choice.
Yeah.
Career-wise.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, you're doing phenomenal. I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Well, Andres, thank you so much for being on the show, brother. I really appreciate it. Hopefully one day I can stop by at Luttrell's and meet you in person.
Yeah, come by anytime.
Right on, man. Probably do some film for you.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Right on. Well, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? I mean, the floor is yours, brother.
Obviously I want to thank all my coaches. Without them, I wouldn't have a career. I wouldn't have a place to train, obviously, at Luttrell Yee's MMA. And then obviously all my sponsors. I got a couple of guys in Santa Fe. They own a restaurant called Los Portillos, and they have taken care of me, through thick and thin, ever since I started my pro career. So, much love to them, and all my other sponsors, everyone that has even given me a ride to the gym, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart, and we've done all this together, and we're gonna become a world champion June 28th.
Damn right you are.
Hell yeah, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna, I'll be in Phoenix throughout the day, but I'll be flying in so that way I can make it to cover the event. So yeah, dude, I can't wait, man. When Mike, when he texted me that Combate was coming to Albuquerque, I was like, hell yes, finally. Finally, we have a huge promotion. And you know, especially a Mexican promotion to be here in New Mexico, dude,
Yep.
it's gonna sell out easy.
Yeah, yeah. And so if you guys can spread the word as much as you can, you know, we need to fill those seats. So
Hell
you
yeah,
come
brother.
back at least, you know, have something to do.
Yes,
They need to
sir.
come back.
Yes, sir. Right on, brother. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, I'll hit you up, and maybe we can get you back on the show after your fight.
Of course, anytime. Thank you guys.
All right, brother.
All right,
Thank
you
you.
guys take care. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye. Dude,
he's a cool motherfucker.
right?
I really like that dude, man. Like that's a dude I hope just fucking kills it. Like, I hope he just lights it up in the fight world, man. Like, the fight world needs more guys like him to be doing what he's doing. Instead
Hell
of
yeah,
these,
dude.
instead of these WWE type ego people, you know. And I mean fight world in general. I'm not just talking about Conor. I'm talking about the Floyds, the Broners, you know, all them kind of dudes that have this fake persona of what you're supposed to be doing, you know. No, that dude was a real dude, man. I really like that kid. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's tough as fuck, so that goes a long way.
Yeah, man. When I when I first got the news, you know, it was given to me through email, and you know, I couldn't say anything. But because the PR knows that I live here, he was like, "Hey, Rob, Combate's gonna be there in Rio Rancho." I know why you're laughing, because he called me Rob.
Every time, they're always like, I'm like, Rob, who the fuck is Rob? Rob, I guarantee you, Rob Villa.
Isn't that Home Improvement dude?
No, that's Bob Villa. Yeah, man. So when he told me who was gonna be the main event, I was like, hell yes, I gotta reach out to this fool, because he's, you know, from here, from Albuquerque, you know, hometown guy. He's gonna be fighting for the title, you know, on the biggest stage that we've had in a long ass time here in Albuquerque, man. So I had to reach out. And I'm glad that he was able to, you know, get on the show today, because originally we were scheduled for last week. So, but yeah, man, I can't wait.
I'm not gonna lie. Also, when I seen where he fought out of, I was like, man, I didn't know he was from the States. Like, I didn't watch an interview of him. I didn't watch a training of him. I just watched him fight.
And he's from a small town in Roswell.
Well, and like I said, the kid fights like a Mexican fighter. He just puts his chin down and comes at you. And when I saw what he fought out of, I said, I wonder if he speaks English. I said, because I know we've talked about this, that you're the translator. You know, that you're our translator. And I forgot to ask you that. And I was like, shit, I forgot to ask Berto that before the show. If we're doing translation or not. And then he comes in, he's like, what's up, guys? I was like, oh God. I was like, boy, I'm in trouble, because I don't know. I'm just gonna be quiet most of this one. I was like, because, you know, like I said, we've had that discussion. You're like, look, if it needs translation, I do. I was like, cool. And then I was like, shit, I forgot to ask. I'm not even gonna say anything until I hear this dude say something.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, dude, he was a hell of a dude, man. I really enjoyed him on the show.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
he was awesome.
And you know, we get to talking with these guests.
I know, man. It's like he even told me, he's like, well, I'll be on the show as long as you want. I was like, all right. What time is it, man?
It's like 9:00. Let's break down some real quick what we can break down. Like the Pacquiao Thurman, man, we ain't got to talk about it till it's close to that fight. They signed. They're fighting in July. Fuck them. We'll talk about it when it gets close. Like I said, we watched Wilder kill Brazil, but we called that. Most interesting fact is now at this week, 2 days ago, Wilder signed to fight Ortiz either in September or November. Totally cool. I like it because that was one of his toughest fights, even though he knocked out Ortiz. And Ortiz has been a guy that people's been ducking for a long time in boxing. And I think the reason a lot of them are taking him up on offers now is because he's getting older. And you see,
Exactly.
and that's a damn shame because he's a hell of a talent. For a big man, he's slick and can box, but he brings a punch too.
Dude, he's power puncher, man.
Yeah.
He's just he's a beast.
Yeah.
Beast.
I will say I didn't like how he looked when he came in the ring to talk to Wilder after the Brazil fight. Did you see him? The reason he came in is because he came in and talked to Wilder, and he looked fat.
Really?
I can't even say just soft. He just looked fat. His face, his neck, his shirt was like nothing looked right on him. So I'm like, boy, you better not be doing this for a payday. You better be doing this for a chance at a world title. Because that's one thing he never had. He hasn't had a world title because no one's fought him, which is another damn shame, that no one gave him the chance. And like I said, now they want to fight him because he's, like we said, he's getting older and he's showing signs of getting older. But I don't know. I think Wilder's going to knock him out again because I bet he comes in soft. He'll come in for a payday.
I think I was just going to say he's probably just going to fight for a payday. I mean, if he's not, obviously if he's looking that way, he's not training.
No, he ain't been training. Exactly.
So I don't know, man. It's not going to be a pretty fight.
I think he'll go earlier. They went 10 rounds last time. I think he'll go like probably 6 to 7, maybe.
Yeah.
5 to 7. 5 to 7 is where I give the range. And once they put on their all access on Showtime, then I'll tell you my final opinion of where I think he'll go to. We have a Mexican heavyweight boxer fighting this weekend, Andy Ruiz.
Oh yeah,
they're taking on Anthony Joshua.
Yes, sir. That Ruiz guy, man, he doesn't have the best record. He hasn't fought like the top guys that Anthony's fought, but I mean, he's a Mexican fighter,
He's gonna come forward. He's gonna put and he fights like one at a heavyweight. I'll give him that too, man. He comes in, he puts his nose to the grind, and like he looks in more shape for this one.
He does.
So I've been following him on Instagram and watching his workouts. He looks more in shape because he's soft. He's naturally just a soft dude. I mean, he's a guy that doesn't digest carbs well.
Yeah, he's a chubby guy.
He is.
Like he packs a punch.
Yeah, but he brings a wallop, man. He's slick. He's got good head movement. He knows what he does. He knows what he brings. Now, like I was talking to our guy just a minute ago, Andreas. Is it Andreas?
Andres.
Yeah, I can't roll that tongue on that one. So, but like I was talking, if I was training Ruiz, I wouldn't just have him standing on a heavy bag punching, dropping bombs on it. He knows he can do that. I'm working him on an agility ladder. I'm working him on speed drills just to make his feet faster, make his quads fire faster, make his hamstrings fire faster, make all that from your torso down fire quicker than what it ever has, because that's what he's going to need. He's going to have to get low and stay low like a baby Tyson. He ain't going to be able to stand straight up because he's only like 5'10", 6 foot range. He's not going to be able to stand straight up and walk right at Joshua like he's been doing everybody else. Someone like Anthony Joshua's going to put that jab in his face like a Klitschko, and then whenever he pulls it away, bam, you're getting hit with the 2.
Yeah. So Joshua's 6'6".
Yeah.
And Ruiz is 6'2".
Okay, well he's 6'2". That's still not bad.
Yeah.
That's still not.
Yeah.
But he still needs to work on them feet because he's never been impressive with me on it. He's really flat-footed. I know he's a little bit heavier dude, but that doesn't take away from you having to hustle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because he's really...
isn't he coming in as a replacement?
Yeah, as a replacement for the Big Baby Miller.
Yeah.
Big Baby Miller got hit with that steroid.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. And what's bad is, remember, I kept posting every time he took another. They gave him 3 drug tests, and every time he'd fail for like another one. It was just like a roller coaster for this dude. But like I said, man, my buddy, I won't mention his name. He's a pretty big dude down there in South Florida. Took a picture with him the week before that hit, and I didn't recognize him. And the only reason I recognized it because his IG said, this dude's about to be throwing some hands June 1st. And I was like, who the fuck is that? And then it had at Big Baby Miller. And I was like, dude, that does not look like he was jacked. He's always big. Like he comes in way overweight. He comes in at 300 pounds. His last fight was 325. But when I saw him with my buddy, he was like 265, 270 of just like this lean, ripped, super swolled up. And I was like, boy, I hate to say if something's gonna pop, bam, next week it popped. And I was like, that's what I was figuring, as bad as I hate to say it. And I mean, sometimes is it his fault? I don't know. Some fighters do put too much trust into their trainer and believe, hey, this guy shakes up something in a bottle and says, because you don't have to shoot it. You don't have to shoot all that stuff. You can crush a pill up and mix it in with your protein shake. And if you have too much faith in a trainer and you think that trainer has 100% best interests of what he's putting into your body, then you're not going to question it. It's easy for a fighter to say, oh, well, I want to know everything that's going in me. Do you? Because if you've worked with that guy like for 5-10 fights, you're done with that part. Okay, here, I'm just going to drink it. And the next thing you know, boom, I pop for something. And the guy's like, shit, I didn't think we were going to get tested that soon. It's not hard to fail those because of a shit trainer.
Yeah.
It's not. But anyways, like I said, that's where Ruiz got in. Ruiz got the opportunity. And like I said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing because Ruiz is realistically the bottom end of the top 10 in the heavyweights. I want to say he's almost 12. Like I want to say he's like teetering on the outside of the top 10 right now. So I don't know, man. We'll see how it goes. I hope the best for him because he's Mexican and because he's American, and so let's. I'm gonna cheer for him, but I don't see it going past 5 rounds.
No. I mean, because I mean, it's Anthony Joshua, bro. I mean,
the most crisp 1-2 you'll ever find in boxing right now.
Exactly. Yes.
And the reason I think he does it, I don't think he has a chin. I don't think his chin's as sturdy because you watch that right hand. That right hand is glued to his jaw. Every time it sits like this, like it is super glued to his jaw. And that's how Vladimir Klitschko became once he found out he didn't have a chin. Like Vladimir glues his right to his chin, and that's because he doesn't have it. Back when he first started, before he got chin checked, it was here. But you watch Anthony Joshua from the jump, it's glued straight onto it. So that's why I think, and I've seen him get rocked quite a few times. So I don't think his chin's as sturdy as he wanted to be at the heavyweight. So Ruiz packs a decent punch. If he can figure out how to get inside, I hope they worked on his footwork. I haven't seen no training on his footwork, but I wouldn't put everything on for the world to see either. Yep. So we'll see if he's worked on anything he's going to surprise him with on the footwork end. Made the feet quicker. Worked on some head movement, make that quicker. And best of luck to him. We'll see what he's got. We'll see what he's got Saturday. I think it's on Sky Sports.
I didn't write it down. I don't remember where it's going to show.
I think they're fighting on Sky Boxing or whatever that Sky one is.
Right.
But we'll have to find a link to it.
Oh yeah. The link king.
It's been an interesting 2 weeks. The weekend that not this past weekend before last was Sage Northcutt's fight.
Dude.
You're the MMA guy. You taking that one starting?
No, well, I mean,
I'm gonna go ahead and throw up what happened. Basically, an X-ray of what happened to his face, so everyone can see that. Go ahead and talk about him.
Now, what was this? Was it like 18 seconds?
18 fractures on his face.
18 fractures
18
in what?
fractures
37
with
seconds?
one punch, dude.
And it was like 30 seconds, wasn't it?
30 seconds in, one punch.
One punch. And the dude shattered a whole side of his face.
Destroyed.
Now, I had people a lot of people was arguing about my post. They were all, well, oh, I've been there. I'm like, you haven't had 18 fractures in your face. I guarantee you cracked an orbital bone. Congratulations. Sage cracked the top, the bottom, the cheek, the nose, I mean, it literally spider webbed one side of his face. Like his whole left side of his face is probably one giant titanium plate now. And like, I guarantee he's going to look like Rich Franklin. Like he went from being a pretty boy to just flipping that switch in one punch. Went from being pretty to you a fighter, ain't you?
Yeah.
He's like, he got one droopy eye now. His face is hanging.
Well, if you see he posted a picture of him sitting in the hospital.
Yeah, that's what I have up right now. He's got
a
goofy
he says,
how
do I look? Dude, he looks swollen.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen how they do, and you probably know this though, have you seen how they do the fractures on the eye and the cheek?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they go in underneath the lip. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't cut you anymore up around these areas.
Oh, no, they go under.
Yeah, and go up underneath. So, I mean, I can't even imagine how sore you get to get those plates screwed in because they got to stretch all that out.
Yo, I'm just seeing on his x-ray, his middle name is Monroe.
Oh. But one punch.
Dude.
I mean, how devastating. I guarantee that dude he fought, nobody's going to fight him for about another year. Like, he's going to be taking mandatories.
Yeah.
Because those dudes are not going to want to line it because that sent a message throughout that.
That guy's a professional kickboxer. I forgot, but he's got a lot of fights under his belt. I don't know why they would throw Sage to that dude like the way they did. They were just asking for him to get his face busted.
Now, I would put money. The reason they threw Sage to him because they knew it was going to happen, just not that bad. Because they're going to promote this dude as the killer now. You know what I mean? They like a dude that shatters a man's face in one punch. You can market the hell out of that.
Cosmo Alexander.
Yes, Cosmo. Yeah. I knew he had a unique name.
You know, and okay, so he's a kickboxer. Mm-hmm. So he's used to wearing those boxing gloves.
Yep, those tie gloves.
So he's wearing MMA gloves. Dude, of course your face is gonna shatter to a million pieces.
But he brought that punch from way out, man. He brought that hook. He brought that hook from left field, man. Bro, I mean, that thing.
Let me just share with you his record: 89 kickboxing matches, 69 wins, 21 by knockout. Mixed martial arts, 9 total, 8 wins, 6 by knockout. He's even fought professional boxing, 2 fights, and he won both of them. So yeah, wow. And look at poor Sage, bro. That they threw him to the lions. That's fucked up.
Instead, they sent the all-American looking kid in there to fight this fucking gladiator.
What were they thinking?
They sent the kid. They sent this dude that looks like your next door neighbor. Like Sage should come out wearing a varsity jacket. You know? I mean, literally destroyed your face. Like I've lost. Don't get me wrong. I've lost in the ring. I've lost in the street. I've lost. You know, everyone loses a fight. I don't give a fuck who you are. But for one punch, just to ruin your face. Like, I've busted my teeth up in the streets. I don't, okay, that shit happens, But it wasn't. Like, he's Mel Gibson now. He's the man without a face. He's going to turn and you're going to be like, oh, it saves Northcutt. Ah! Oh! Ah! I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to say it like this. But I guarantee he cries. I guarantee his pride is so fucked up right now. I bet you can't even mention how many times he's cried just out of depression. When he gets up and looks in the mirror and he's still wearing a patch because they got to keep that eye covered from the broken orbital. and he sees the because even if people look at him now and like, oh, he still looks the same, he sees the difference. You know what I mean? And that's a hard pill to swallow when you got to wake up and see the disfigurement somebody else did to you. That's the hardest. That's why he won't be back. I think that was the last you'll see of him. Pride may make him do one more so that way he can leave on his terms.
Yeah.
But I don't. And you know what's sad is the kid's only like 23, 24. You know, he.
What's even worse is his dad is his manager, and he let him walk into that. That's insane, bro.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's even shittier. And you know, if his dad let him walk in, and you know his dad got the same stats Rudy found in 10 seconds. 89 kickboxing fights, 9 MMA fights, 2 boxing fights. The dude's just a fighter. That dude's a fucking dog. He's an animal.
No, he's a killer.
Yeah, literally, man. He is a killer. And I mean, no fear in that dude. And like I said, it's a shame that Sage is probably, like I said, he's about 24. Because he's
pretty young.
23, 24 and done. Done.
Hopefully he got paid.
Yeah, hopefully. If not, he's going to be in Albuquerque selling insurance. Burrow's going to walk in and be like, "Hey, Mr. Rob Villa." I mean, like I said, these dudes fed the boy next door, your next door neighbor, Mr. Varsity High School football kid looking, to a fucking animal, to a killer. And then the worst part is what Rudy just said. His dad let him. My boy can beat him. The fuck he can. Have you seen that? Yeah. And I'm not saying Sage couldn't have got to that level because he's a fighter. He was a fighter. So could he have gotten on that level? Maybe. But he wasn't ready for nothing like that because he ain't faced nothing like that in UFC. Even when he lost. You know, he didn't fight it. He didn't meet no killer like that in there. And this dude came out. And this dude didn't give a shit when he died in there. He just folded over, face down. The dude just started cheering. He didn't stop and look and like, is he okay? He's like, fuck him. I hope he's dead. Right? So I mean, yeah, man, that's a shame. I hope the best for him. I hope he does heal up. I hope he heals up. I hope he is able to continue. I mean, because that's his dream. That's his goal. You know, and realistically, he didn't have no real reason why he got released from the USC. You know, he won his last fight there, and then they decided to let him go out of his contract. So, I mean, that's just a shit way to start ending your career, to get cut from their dream company and then get your face shattered. But like I said, we had a lot of people on the site saying, oh, well, no, you haven't. You haven't had 18 fractures in your face, dog. You have not had 18 fractures. Because I was like, he's done. You might want to reevaluate life, man. I'm not one to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. I'm just going to give you a suggestion that maybe you need to reevaluate where you're going in life. You know, take some of that money, start making some investments, get smart with it. But all these people was like, oh, well, I fought. You ain't had 18 fractures in your face, not in one punch, not in 30 seconds. Go get that done. Have your whole face shattered and get 30 plates put in your face, and then come back and talk to us. And then they're like, oh, well, your face will heal up stronger. Tell that to Rich Franklin's nose. Tell that to Rich Franklin's nose that your bone heals back stronger.
Nope.
Yeah. I was like, they're like,
oh, Roski's nose.
Yeah, or Roski. He don't even have a nose anymore.
No.
He don't even have one. It's just cartilage right here, and that's it. He has this dent right here that's gone, just a dent. I mean, I'm like, ask them dudes, you know. So that's why we did this show, man, so we can say that. Like I said, we hope the best for you, Sage. We really do. Good luck on recovery. We hope the best for you in recovery, and hey, hopefully we'll see you again in there.
Yep. Well, Arlo, it's that time to end the show. We had an awesome show. Sorry, Rudy, if we passed a little bit.
It's all right.
I know you got a baby to go and take care of. So just want to thank everyone for joining and watching another episode of Sitting Ringside. We appreciate it. head out to fightbookmma.com to get all your sports news, MMA, kickboxing, boxing. It's all there. We interview a lot of fighters. So speaking of interviewing, I did an article and interviewed Christian Anderson. He's going to Mexico to train, and then he's also going to teach kids to, get some money while he's training out there for his next big fight. So he has a GoFundMe. I have it out there on the website. Just search for his name. You'll see the GoFundMe. We'll put a link in the description on our YouTube channel and on the main fan page. So the more shares, the more you can donate, the better. So yeah. Other than that, it's time to say peace, and we'll see you on the next one.
Don't forget, next week's we'll if y'all got any questions for a pro tip of the week, we'll cover one. Y'all, we're just waiting on to getting one. If not, we'll just keep waiting until we actually get one come through the Fightbook MMA Messenger. All right.
Yes, sir. All right.
Later,
Peace out, brother. Thanks, Rudy.